You're welcome to how to pass JAMB with your ChatGPT. Now, I want you to understand something that we are going to be using ChatGPT and your notebook LM. Okay, so this we're going to see how you can use ChatGPT to ace your JAMB. Okay, but now look at this. If you're preparing for JAMB, you could be preparing for JAMB as someone in SS1, SS or SS2 or SS3. Okay, from SS1 you start preparing for JAMB. Okay, now when this video is for everybody, so if you're preparing for JAMB as SS1, I need you to understand what many of these early schools, what they do. So there are schools that are very expensive that normal people cannot afford, and then there's also schools that are not expensive, but it requires, these are like special schools, okay? Like we have one in Piankasa. So these schools, not everybody too can meet the cutoff mark to access that kind of school. So sometimes when some of these schools are preparing for JAMB, when you're SS1, you prepare using questions that are a little bit below JAMB standard. Okay, so if for example you studied indices, you prepare that indices using questions that are below JAMB standard. And then when you get to SS2, you start looking at JAMB standard. And some of them, even third time SS2, they start looking at a little bit above JAMB standard. And SS3, they will look at above JAMB standard. Now, what it will do to them is it will help them mentally and even expand their brain to overcome JAMB. I want to explain something. There are people who are writing JAMB and they want to study engineering, any of these engineering courses, and they will meet calculus or any further mathematics related course when they are preparing for JAMB, not when they're in secondary school. Now, what do you think will happen? These kind of students will struggle with mathematics, okay, in JAMB. But these same students, maybe they study mathematics in the university. When they gain admission, the 100 level, they will still struggle. And then when they get to, say, 300 level or 200 level, they will be at par with that other guy from that elite school. Now, what happened here is this. The brain have expanded, okay, to accommodate what is required to excel in higher institution. So I want you to see the brain as a muscle, okay? If put to good use, it can expand. If you're not using it, it can contrast. And sometimes we make the mistake of thinking that the brain stores information like a jerry can or a container. So everything that comes in, it just stores it and retrieve it at will. It doesn't work that way. I'm thinking, and I believe that, look, the brain stores information by filtering information that are important. Now, let me explain. I've seen students who struggled with the academics, okay, both secondary school as undergraduates and even postgraduates. They struggle with the academics. But guess what? Some of these students, they don't struggle to recall the specific scenes in their favorite movie or specific scenes in a football final. And you get what I'm saying, or their favorite soap opera. They don't struggle, okay? And that's because, one, they can watch that movie, and at the same time, after watching the movie, they can listen to soundtrack about that movie, they can read about that movie, they can do different things. So the brain will understand that, look, this thing is very important, this particular movie is important, so store this information, it will store it. So the idea is you should be able to do the same thing with your academics. I will always tell you this, so you understand. Do the same thing with your academics, and it will also help you. So this video, we are going to search for JAMB. So from this plus, I've already downloaded JAMB syllabus already, okay? So this is JAMB syllabus. I've downloaded it. So I'll store it here, and then I'll click on another plus, and then download the past questions. Okay, so fine. Once I have this, I can just say act as an expert. tutor with 25 years experience and explain, let's say, integration like I am a 10-year-old. So now let's see this. I'm not sending it yet. So I can say using my favorite sports or using football. Okay. I also want you to set 20 or let's say 30 questions, practice questions. Okay, I say 0. Okay, 30 practice questions, but I want the difficulty level to be below the uploaded documents. JAMB documents. Okay, so I can ask it to restrict it to this level, but it knows, so I will enter, and then let's see what it's going to give us. So now see this. Imagine you're watching a football match. Think of your team running speed over time during a match. Sometimes the player run fast, sometimes slow. If you want to know how far the player ran in the whole game, just knowing the speed at one moment doesn't help. Okay, we need to add up all the little bits of distance they covered. That's where integration comes in. So for those of you that understand maths, knowing the speed at that particular moment, okay, maybe that Champions League between Chelsea and Barcelona. So when Torres was about hitting that ball at the back it was when he beat Valdes, or about beating Valdes, just before he scored that goal. So you want to know the speed of Torres at that moment. That's your differentiation. But we are not talking differentiation now. We are talking integration. So, but integration is able to help you understand the speed of Torres in the whole game. Okay, so that's integration. For those of you that are trying to understand the difference between differentiation and integration using football. Now, he's explaining this. At each second, your player has a speed, meter per second. So he's explaining all this. I don't have all the time to explain it. But it will break down concepts using, or break down topics using your favorite sports, your favorite game, your favorite whatever. So you can do that for Call of Duty, so many things like that. So you can go down and then study it. So using rating to JAMB stack, what does the, okay, now I will ask it, so set the questions. I made a mistake, or it made a mistake. Set the questions using this same JAMB formats, okay, without specify or underlining the answer. The correct answers, okay, the correct answers, but with a reduced difficulty level. So let's see what it will give us. Boom. Oh, I wanted 30 questions, but let's see. Okay, fine. It remembered. Okay, it's taking the time, and then boom. So it's giving us this, the distance covered by a player using 2 meters per second. So it's giving us all this. So now if you are writing JAMB, you can just, once you can do this when you are in SS1. Once you start getting to say SS2, okay, you can ask it to use, you can practice with your JAMB past question and answer. Remember, we have it, we uploaded it here. Okay, so you can use the same JAMB past question and answer. So now you can, but on this you can come up to say increase, set 30 questions, set 30 questions using JAMB format but with increased difficulty level. Okay, now let me tell you what this will do. Remember, I told you something. I said those guys in really great schools, okay, SS1, they started preparing for JAMB using certain difficulty level below JAMB. Their teachers are able to do that before the advent of AI. So AI is a leveler. At SS2, they are practicing with JAMB level. Now SS3, they will raise the standard above JAMB. Now what it will do to them is using the same syllabus, but the questions will be more difficult than JAMB. So they will practice this, and some of them will even have their mock exams, and their mock exams will be above JAMB difficulty level, and the cutoff mark for their mock will be 275. So the people that are not getting that 275, they can go back and practice until a lot more people can get that 275 with those kind of questions above JAMB standard or scope. Now guess what? When these same students approach JAMB, they are not approaching JAMB with fear. They will approach JAMB like Ragnar. They would not approach it with fear. You understand? So they will be very bold because they know their standard is above JAMB. They've practiced above JAMB. So when they meet JAMB, they will chew it for breakfast. Now for you that are not in that school, once you're in SS3, you send this kind of prompt, and then it will be able to set those integration questions like this. Okay, it's a bit above JAMB standard, a little bit, or they pick the ones that are very, very difficult. So these are the kind of things you are practicing with. Okay, so you practice with all this now. So once you practice with all this, you feed AI your scores. So you ask AI to, okay, explain where you are not doing well, the particular topic you are not doing well. If it's differentiation, just explain the different subtopics you are not doing well. Okay, so it will explain those topics, in an extra way. So this is how you use ChatGPT, to ace your JAMB. Remember, SS1 reduce difficulty, SS2 same as JAMB, maybe in SS3 a little bit above JAMB. Sorry, in third time SS2 a little bit above JAMB, SS3 above JAMB. You'll be practicing, but using the same JAMB format. Okay, so you are practicing, you're coming here, and then you say, okay, I want you to explain. Okay, you can say explain each concepts. Okay, like I am a 10-year-old. Okay, so boom, but not using football. Okay, remember, you can also feed it your textbook. You can feed it your textbook, and it will, okay, oh, I've exceeded the time they gave me. All right, let me see. Okay, let me see the new charts. Once I click on new chart, it will not remember this. But let me guess. But you didn't say which concept you get. So fine. Thank you very much. We are going to be looking at how to use your Google Notebook LM. Also, you combine it with ChatGPT to give you the best results. So let's look at our notebook. Thank you. Okay, hello everyone. So let's see how you can do this with your JAMB. Okay, so your notebook LM and JAMB. So you can always access your notebook this way. Okay, so you access your notebook. Once you've accessed your notebook, remember you can create new notebook. So you come down here, click on create new notebooks. Okay, so you're going to see this. You come down here and then you upload files. So I can come here and upload my JAMB past question. Come here and upload the JAMB syllabus. Okay, but I'm not going to do this. That's simply because I have it already. When I upload it, it will reduce the number of, how do I put it, I'm supposed to upload. So I don't need to do this, and it will take some time also to propagate. But I have my JAMB here already, so I'm just going to come down to this point. So these are my uploaded document. Anytime I want to upload another one, I add to this, and then it take me here. So if it's a classroom lecture, this is where I click to upload this document. But if it's a classroom lecture on YouTube that I like, I can click on this and paste the link. If it's from my drive, I can click on this and then I'll have it. And then if this text I've copied, or I type my handout or any of those things like that, materials, I can use this. Now I want you to understand that how the brain works and why it's important to use different tools to study. Now just look at this here. Okay, if you look at your textbook, okay, you're studying from your textbook. You study the textbook the first time. The second time you're going to be studying that textbook, you're not going to be that serious about it. And I'm going to explain why. Let's assume you're watching football. Okay, you watch football for the first time. The second time you're watching football, you will not concentrate, okay, because you know the outcome. It's also similar to your favorite movie. You know the outcome. But now look at this way. There are people who struggle with the academics, and but you see them, they can remember everything in the movie they watched. They can remember everything about football. And you think, oh, it's because they watch their football. But remember, you were in class. You understand? You were in class. You did not even watch your lecturer or your teacher talk to you, right? You were in class. It's like you were in the stadium. But the difference is this: when you watch football, you watch your favorite movie. After watching it, you also discuss that favorite movie with your friends. After doing that, you also read about your favorite movie. You go on social media and you see what is happening about that favorite movie. And so what is happening is you are looking at studying this favorite movie or this football or this favorite show, from different dimensions. So the brain is now wired to understand that, look, this thing is important to this person. This movie, this football is important to this person. So store every information around football. So that's why you see someone who maybe they've struggled with their calculus, their maths, or academics in general, but they can recall a particular incident in a Champions League final that happened 15, 20 years ago. So the brain is able to retrieve them. If you are to test their intelligence using football, they are going to excel extremely well because they've studied a lot about football and they can bring it, they can recall, anytime. So they have good retention in football and they will recall. Now, if you see us studying, if you're following our videos, we'll talk about retention and recall all the time. So retention, just in case you're coming across this video, this is our first video you are coming across. Your retention helps you keep knowledge. You store that knowledge. It deepens knowledge and it makes you understand. It deepens your understanding. Okay, it makes you understand this concept. And that's why you see so many people who maybe they graduated with a third class, but they can still remember, specific things around that subject matter or even the subject matter in general. Sometimes more than the person that graduated with the first class or 2-1, but they can't remember any of these things. Now see this, the guy that graduated with good grades but can't remember, they have good recall but poor retention. And the guy that can remember but doesn't have good grades, have good retention but poor recall. Recall enables you to bring out that knowledge at a specific time, even under pressure, such like your exams, such like during interviews and things like that. So in this video, you're going to be learning how to recall and you're going to be learning how to retain knowledge. Okay, so Another thing I want to also explain here is simple. I've seen people debate and say, look, your ChatGPT is better than your notebook LM. Some will even say your notebook LM is better than ChatGPT. And I'm wondering, I said, look, why can't you enjoy both? It's like saying Davido is better than Wizkid. Wizkid is better than Davido. Okay, because of that, I won't listen to Davido music because I'm a Wizkid fan. And because I'm 30 BG, I will listen to Wizkid because I'm a Davido fan. Why don't you just do like me, enjoy both, enjoy Burna Boy, enjoy Davido, enjoy everything Nigerian music has to offer instead of beefing this. Anyway, I understand. I did that in my age too when I picked a musician. Okay, so back to this now. Back to this. So what you are supposed to do is, but for your academics, okay, nobody is testing you with Wizkid or with Davido. So, but your academics now, you have been tested. So use both tools. Get the best of both worlds. Okay. So coming back to this, remember we've stored this information, your JAMB past question and answer, and then this is your syllabus. So you can come down here. You can click on all this. I've already done that because it takes time. So here enables you to listen to it as like a podcast. Okay, so you can listen to this as a podcast. Okay, let me come in here. I can play. Okay, I can play in the video now. Okay, since I mentioned the podcast, let me do this. Look at it as a podcast. Let me go to the audio. Do I have it as a podcast? Just stay with me. Okay, I'll just click on it so I can have it as a podcast. Okay, let me just play the video for some reasons. So
the JAMB math exam. Just saying those words can make your heart beat a little faster.
Okay, so this is just a video of it. So remember, you can learn with that podcast, you can learn with that video, and sometimes it's just a video with certain animations like that, or presentation or slides and things like that. So you can just see this, right? So they're explaining that concept. Okay, this may not be that great for JAMB, okay, especially with the video one, but it helps you understand the whole syllabus. Okay, so you can come down here. This is for the quiz. This is for the quiz. Okay, okay, I'm generating new quiz. I think I have it generated already. So fine, I have it generated already. So I'll just come down here and generate. So I'll just pick random answers because I don't have time. So once I pick this now, you can see this. Okay, I can come down here. This is the right answer. I can come down here to ask it to explain. It will come up and start explaining. So I will understand. So I can come here and I'm listening to the explanation. I'm taking a quiz, blah, blah, blah. So the answer is this, this is. Now look at, after reading this, I don't have time to read all this. I can copy this answer. I should have a place I can copy here. Good. I can copy all this, go to my ChatGPT, and ask it to explain this like to explain this using football. You can say, okay, explain this concept using football. Okay, and then I paste the concepts because I did not understand it, right? So okay, now look at this here. So it's explaining it to me. So I can go between tools. It's important to note that you can always go between tools. So don't restrict it to just your notebook alone. Okay, so you can have this, you can have these infographics here. So you're just telling your mind that, look, this information is important to me. That's why I'm storing it this way. So our audio file is ready. So our podcast is ready around the same topic. So you can go ahead and listen to your podcast. Okay. Right, so these are your flashcards. You can look at the flashcard. How is a number converted from a non-decimal base to base 10? So it's just testing how deep your knowledge is. Okay, so you can have all these. These are different flashcards you can have. All in all, you just want to know if you understand the subject matter, and then trick your brain or rewire your brain to understand that, look, this is very, very important to me. All right, so this is exactly how to use both tools, okay, in your academics. So once you use these tools, they are going to help you. They are going to help you as someone preparing for JAMB. Don't do this don't use your notebook LM when you are in SS1. Remember, use your ChatGPT. I showed you how to do that. And then when you're in SS2, you use your KLM, your notebook LM a lot. And then SS3 too, you use them. So you always use your ChatGPT and your notebook LM. So remember, I've always said this, using AI in your academics or preparing for JAMB with your AI, it doesn't make you lazy. It's not for lazy students. It's for students who want to work hard. Okay, just imagine you're still studying your textbook. So you study your textbook and then you upload it to your AI, maybe ChatGPT, and you ask it to explain it in certain ways you will understand. Okay, if it's your favorite movie, you can explain it favorite movie, and then it will understand it. Okay, if if it's sports, you explain it that way. So, but the most important thing is it will tailor that explanation to anything you will understand. So when you've studied this from different angles, guess what? The brain is already wired to know this is important to me. And guess what? The brain will begin to store that information. So you are not only learning or studying, you're also rewiring your brain, okay, to also store information that are related to the subject matter. So good luck as you prepare for JAMB. So at the end of your JAMB, you should be able to tell us what your score is. We've had people that did 300, 290 something just by looking at this, and I believe yours will not be different. Thank you very much for your time. Bye for now.